smell your intentions. You laughing on the freak show sitting next to you. You laugh some weird people sitting next to you. You think how did I get here sitting next to you? But after all I've said, please don't forget. All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. All my friends will even take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. Why'd you come? You knew you should have stayed. I tried to warn you just to stay away. And now they're outside ready to bust. It looks like you might be one of us.
Hey everybody, it's Shaman Wendi from Gaia Rising Now, back with Galactic Shaman Missy Hill. We're going to be doing these energy updates because we're the cat ladies. We like sharing our catness, but we also
Our felineness.
our femininity. Anyway, we're being weird. Today is the black moon in Scorpio. So this is like the second, what is also known as a blue moon, the second full moon in September. And they don't come around too often, which is why it's called once in a blue moon. I really feel like this particular full moon is kind of like an exfoliant for the soul. Like all the stuff that we've been working through and digging through, this is going to be like the exfoliant. So with that, Missy and I wanted to talk about some really important stuff, at least stuff we think is important. So on the topic of divine feminine, and I'll throw in some wow, rise of passive-aggressive energy, and, oh, yes, the political blending of the gender opposites. But are they opposite? Or are they both opposite sides of the same polarity, which is masculine? Okay, Missy, take it away!
Well, I've got Buffy here with me, and I thought we were actually going into a new moon, but that black moon Lilith would be tonight. Isn't it a new moon now? Start over.
All right, so we clarified it is the black Lilith new moon, not a full moon, and that is in Scorpio, regardless. Missy is here with Buffy. Yay, Missy Hill, Galactic Shaman, Buffy, sidekick.
Yeah. I wanted Buffy to make an appearance because I don't know if she said hi before, but I'll just let her. You want to go play, Buff? I love you. She's purring.
Hi, Buffy.
Well, it's been a wild ride, hasn't it? It's been crazy.
Holy hell.
Okay, today's actually the 29th. Is it the 29th?
No,
it's the 30th. 30th of September when we're filming this. I don't know when it's going to post, but here, where we are here, today actually feels like the first day of autumn because it actually got cooler and my body actually feels different. It's been so hot. It's been this buildup of heat, like being in a pressure cooker that needed to explode and go. Yeah. I've been laying on this
like
vegan far infrared bed for the past about a week. These people had a store back in 2010. Now they're here again with this massage bed with the jade stones. So between that and restorative yoga It's like my body said, go back to hot restorative yoga because I've been more into strength training and all this other stuff. And finally something shifted. My body released and cracked, and it feels like it's detoxing. And I didn't even know what I wanted to eat the past few days. So that feels like it's settled. But it feels like a lot of weirdness is cleared. And I'm just so happy I'm not getting my floor done next week. I'm not going to experience a demolition in my kitchen. I wanted this to happen, but now it's going to be too traumatic for the cats, too much trauma to rip open a floor, my foundation right now, when I'm going to be going on a boat in 2 weeks. I'm going to need to be as grounded as possible. The cruise into spirit, where I will be hosting UFO sky watches with my 3rd generation night vision equipment. That's when the full moon is going to be, is on the boat. I should be doing a cruise right now while it's a dark moon. Not a full moon, but that's the way they planned it. So whatever. Right now there's a storm brewing called Matthew in the Caribbean. And I'm thinking, oh boy, first book of the New Testament, Matthew. Isn't that interesting? That needs to be cleared. We need to douse that and clear that. I don't want any storms happening when I'm out there. But it's been a lot of weird shifts, and I did get some insight today when I listened to Tom Lesher Kaipacha give his Pele report and all this energy with Neptune and Chiron and Mercury and Jupiter, and it's like, whoa. I mean, this is almost, and then Libra, having to balance. It's been a real interesting ride watching the dynamics of people, because the imbalance is coming to the forefront. And I was writing about this with the patriarchy, and I think you said this too. It's really two sides of the same coin, which is all part of the distorted higher up consciousness, which we could call patriarchal masculine, or what's called the dark mother. It's not the true goddess energy. It's a dark mother, which is really very much like patriarchy because it's very controlling. And this may be blowing up in people's faces. I've also noticed some Mandela effects with people where it's like you'll think they're on one timeline and that you're in resonance with them. Then all of a sudden it's been like a shift and they're out of the picture or they're falling into polarity. And I actually think some of these things are Mandela effects because it's just too weird. Well, you know what I mean. You had this happen.
My husband isn't even the same person. I don't even have a husband. I apparently I never had one. Apparently, I lived in another reality and I just stepped into something different. I'm still a little bit in shock, but what are you going to do? The Dark Mother, yes, but the thing about the Dark Mother, in politics it might be the same. The patriarchal aspect. As far as the control factor of us and our acceleration in our growth, our consciousness growth, but the reality is that the Dark Mother, Kali Ma, is just a dimension of Gaia, and she has had enough. She's absolutely not going to be a slave anymore to the patriarchal system. And that's what I'm feeling more than anything, regardless of how much control they've put into the matrix to try to keep the planet in that lower, 3D vibration and subsequently masculine, controlled. She's breaking out. She's metamorphosizing. She's transforming. She's transmutating, regardless of anything that they can come up with at this point. So this is happening. This is absolutely going to happen. It's happening, and it's not going to be stopped this time.
Right, and the thing I'm seeing is this false dark mother. These are just labels we put upon things. Right. Because you know how CERN uses Kali energy.
Oh my gosh.
Shiva and all this stuff, not to go down the CERN rabbit hole. No, but what I'm seeing with this is the collective is ready for feminine power to step in, and they will settle for this mystery Babylon, the harlot, the Trump card and the Hillary and all this, they'll settle for that as opposed to a true divine feminine power, which really needs to be in balance with the masculine. This is really all about reclaiming our shadow aspects. We talked about the shadow last time. That's why I redid my hair. See, the shadow. Again, I had to shadow my shadow.
That's where that Libra. That's where that Libra energy is coming in, though. It's absolutely forcing that balance to take place. It's literally forcing, because you've got the expansion of Jupiter, and Jupiter wants to move and expand, and it's only going to be able to expand within the confines of the new foundation. And so this balancing of polarities is it's being imposed. That we're in Libra. This is it.
Right, and the funny thing is somebody could defend possibly one of the two sides that are both on the same side, which is not good for humanity, but to them it looks better because they're craving this essence of divine feminine. They're claiming our true mother, which is also connected to the black sun. The Nazis also distorted the black sun energy, which is this, what we see as our sun, but what about what you hear of this great central sun or the sun behind this sun? This sun, because we know things exist in trinitized form, right? That you have to have a positive, a negative, and a neutral. You have to have a masculine, a feminine, and a child. The dark forces upon this planet know you have to have the feminine to create. However, they reverse the spin. It's actually called reversal current, where they use death codes and anti-life current, which is, basically what Star Wars is about.
Yeah.
And Darth Vader and Darth Sidious and the Sith and all this stuff. That's all that same story. Isn't it funny how these movies, this information basically gets channeled? So I feel that is what's happening, is this restructuring, rebalancing. This past week, I woke up in the middle of the night with the words in my head: a house divided against itself will not stand, Abraham Lincoln. And then I was shown at the particle level what is happening. So everything's being restructured down to the tiny levels, not the atomic, the subatomic particles, the quarks, whatever, on every level. That's taking place within our own selves, that we can't be divided within ourselves. We have to come into congruence and alliance. That's happening in relationships. That's happening in the community, families. It's going to happen in this country. It's going to happen in this world at large that we live in, because it has to come into unity consciousness. Now, there is diversity within unity, but unity, the one song, instead of dissonance, like it's been a lot of dissonance. How do we create the one song that's a harmonious, you know where I'm going with this. So there's something about being restructured on the particle level within our whole self. All timelines, everything is going to come back to that. And part of the Mandela effects are us. It's not all CERN. It's not all bad. I liked what Kaipacha said in his Pele report when he was talking about, this week. He said it's not either or, it's both and more. I like that.
That's sweet.
It's not either or, it's both and more. And I agree. That was kind of the affirmation I was looking for, because so many people are into either or consciousness.
No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. But this is this forced balance, or this this final integration. It makes sense that I personally am seeing this rise in the passive aggressive energy, because as people begin to lose control of their reality, they're going to become more passive aggressive, and it's just very frustrating when you see people I don't know, just unable to articulate you know, unable to articulate their fears and their hopes, and so subsequently, you know, destroying sort of like everything around them. It's, you know, peeing on my grass. You know,
Right.
your dog is peeing on my grass. Um, but you know, what are you going to do? It's we're flushing out our deepest toxins. That's what this is. Like I said, it's that exfoliant. It's the, you know, the pendulum swings. You know, the pendulum swings from one polarity to the other until it finds a balance. And we've been swinging on that spectrum, you know, back and forth for a long time, because it keeps being, as you know, it's so controlled. We, throughout history, we get to these major pivotal cornerstones, these, you know, this combustible energy that can shift things, and then what happens? It's like it gets controlled and snuffed out. And so, you know, that's where we're at. We're definitely, this is something that we are not in control of. The planet is raising her vibration, and it is physically going to affect us. I mean, I can't eat at all. I know you said something about not being able to eat. I can't eat at all. I mean, I've had emotional problems. I've had help with the departures in my life, but it's just so difficult. I'm just craving water.
Well, I was starving because I was basically on a raw food, mostly vegan, all raw food. Maybe once in a while a couple eggs or something in the morning. If I was going to eat any cooked food, say it was in the morning, but it was always fruit and vegetables or smoothies mostly,
Yeah,
right?
smoothies,
And all of a sudden I had to go out and have cooked vegetarian Thai. And I even ate an egg roll, a vegetarian one, but I'm like, normally I don't eat any grease.
Right.
And I was craving something heavier, and then I wanted vegetarian chili, and I just because it got cold, this was like within 2 days. Now it's balanced, and I'm kind of back to fruit again,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I made all this pico de gallo and sauce and tomato leather, because I got all these tomatoes. I've been getting a lot of fresh organic produce. It seems to be gifted to me, where I'm able to go to places and pick it, like figs and persimmons, but not too many. And muscadines, lots of muscadine grapes. But I noticed like the fruit is changing too. So instead of the tropical fruit I was used to, I did get a watermelon. Now it's shifting. It's apples, and I've got slight concern about the apple crop, because we think it's organic, but I don't know. I think it mixes with the regular, even if it is organic. So
yeah, I think it's hard.
So yeah, things are changing. There is change in the air, and yeah, it's an interesting time. But at least for me today, I felt myself come into some kind of balance, where it wasn't on the equinox for me. And then, of course, we had the Mercury in retrograde, and then we felt the effects of that before and after. And even still, I'm not getting this floor done. And even though Mercury went direct, it's because it's squared with these other things right now, so that's going to be bringing up stuff as far as communication for people.
It's been painful. Every day it's been really hard to get through each day. I mean, I'm going nonstop from the minute I wake up at 5 until, I put the last animals to bed, and I've come home and had my dinner, and I'm exhausted, and I start over, and writing a little bit on the script and working a little bit on the film festivals, and trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing with my life. And it's just such a strange time to me to have had this situation happen to me, because I feel like I've been thrown back in time in my spiritual growth. I mean, I feel like, and that's kind of what it is. It's like, I think I just went through my second Saturn return, and this has such a Saturn return feel to it. Like I'm going back and revisiting shit that I thought was pretty much behind me, and that really messes with my head. But I realize it's not about judging. It's really about letting the experience unfold, allowing the pain bodies to be released. If I'm crying every 5 minutes, it's not because I want my husband back. Heck no. It's just because, it's like his actions tapped into so many pain bodies from childhood that still hadn't been completely flushed out. And I think a lot of people are going through this, and I don't want them to be afraid of what they're experiencing because they feel like, oh my God, what's happening? Whatever is happening has to happen because we can't advance. We can't advance in our own spiritual growth until we can accept ourselves in all of the fragmentations, in all of the shadows, and really love ourselves. And then we can accept everybody else in a neutral space and allow everyone else to fail or not fail, and not have judgment, and just, raise the vibration of how we interface with each other.
Well, I know for some, what I heard today was for some people, that's not necessarily true for everybody. It's just remembering what was going on. Whatever you experienced around the 20th of August, that window is a repeat now for the final of that to come up. And then also this week, what came up for me, because I'm telling you this in relation to your story, when I went in for acupuncture, he turned me on my side, and what we were working on, because I've had a thing with the triple warmer finger, which is the ring finger, it was condensing and consolidating whatever was going on with me into one story in a book. So that way I could actually expand in my creativity, and I could move into something new. So for some, depending on, where things are in your configuration, this could be the final revisiting of certain patterns that we're done now, completely done with these things, and we don't have to revisit it. That may not be true for everybody, but it has to do with that that saying. I think it's a Buddhist chant or a Buddhist saying, where you walk down the street and you trip and you fall in a hole. You walk down the street, you trip and fall in the hole again. You walk down the street, you see the hole, but you still trip and you still fall in.
Yeah, but you saw it that time.
Again, you still trip and fall again. This time you walk around the hole and you have to look at it a couple times. Then you're ready to take a different path.
Yeah. I have my own saying similar to that, but it's a very eloquent way to put that experience as far as just repeating karma, and you recognize that you're starting to get it when you recognize that you might be repeating yourself. But you're about you're about halfway there at that point, because to get from being aware of it to stopping the pattern of it, is about a halfway point. And since I have been repeating this pattern for a long time, I'm not afraid to admit that, I'm pretty sure this is the last time I need to walk over this hole and fall in. But I'm only human. Wowza!
This skull,
Misty,
her name is Echo Latour. She was gifted to us from a friend in Ohio recently. This person said they had to find a home for the skull. They had certain circumstances where it was necessary. So she was gifted us. Huh?
Jasper?
It's a crazy lace agate.
Oh, an agate. Okay.
So I thought that was important because since this friend could not go on the cruise, she originally wanted to go on the cruise in the spirit. Her crystal skull is going instead. Along with another skull that was gifted to us years ago by Joshua and Katrina called Traveler. So Echo, the name was Echo. Ron added Latour because of that bicycle race. Remember that last show we did? We had that Vuelta. He was laughing his butt off. And then this one is called Puerto Las Bañas, which is a lapis lazuli. This one was on the last cruise. This we got it in Mexico.
Hold it still for a minute. Hold it still for a minute. Just because the Skype camera's struggling to keep up. Oh, I put it at a medium frame rate so that we could at least get through one Skyping recording without, getting too crazy. Those are gorgeous, and they kind of, it feels like they have a friendship going on there. They feel like they like each other. They do. Yeah, I can tell. Beautiful. So the cruise is in 2 weeks?
Gifted, I feel like in 2 weeks. Yeah, with that being gifted, it felt like there's some big stuff going on. I felt really, my heart expanded so much and I cried. I felt, wow, this is just wonderful to receive a gift like this.
I have to say, I have to say that I didn't receive a gift like that, but I want to acknowledge and thank all the people that were nice enough and loving enough and generous enough to take care of me and give me well wishes and share beautiful energy with me, and the people that are really putting themselves out to hold on to me and take care of me so that I'm able to finally fulfill some of my intentions. I just want to thank them because it's really meant a lot to me. Anyway, sorry, I got emotional.
Don't be sorry. But people are predicting there's some of that cataclysm energy in the field again, where people are saying, store at least 3 weeks of food. I'm not going to give any energy to that, but I'm going to say, be the one that's like the Girl Scout or the Boy Scout, for lack of a better word. Always be prepared as if something could happen, where there's a glitch in the matrix with extra food, extra water, extra cash on hand, superfoods, things like nuts and, dried fruit, stuff like that, some canned goods, whatever, unless you have, some kind of stove to cook it on or whatever, extra water. It's not drinking water, potable water just to flush your toilet if you're on a well, because when we had this leak, luckily the water had to be turned off. I already had water filled up in containers for flushing the toilet unless you want to go outside. So all these things, people do the research, don't get into fear. I find it interesting what's going on with the alternative media and the mainstream media. Remember, we said we're the alternative to the alternative media because it's still pitting the sides. It's like the mainstream media is one side, and then a lot of the alternative media, not all of it, is pitting the other side. So they're still fighting against each other and that needs to come into balance too. There's something about that whole thing coming into balance, and a lot of fake stories out there. So don't believe every conspiracy. I mean, even though I was on the conspiracy cruise, and I feel a lot of, what is conspiracy is actually true. Probably more of it is than isn't, but some of these stories are so far out there that I think they're doing it just to get ratings. We know they fake UFO footage. There's a lot of UFO footage that's actually fake, and if people can get away with faking something for YouTube hits, they're going to do it. So people need to put their discernment cap on and not go down every rabbit hole and say that's the whole ball of wax. These are all just pieces that are making a puzzle, and kind of glean the theme of the information from this piece and then go on to another piece and kind of really work on staying grounded and balanced within the self. Because, I know the newbies now, they want to run in every direction.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is like we're breaking in yet another new group of awakened people, and they don't have discernment. They do not have discernment. And it's extremely frustrating. So, like, for instance, even just, I noticed some of the mainstream people in my Facebook, friends, whatever, are sharing the picture of Michelle Obama and George Bush hugging. It's totally photoshopped. Look at it. It's so obviously photoshopped. And everybody's like, oh, look at this. This is so powerful. And I'm like, it's photoshopped. And nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to accept that. It's actually one of the worst Photoshop jobs I've seen in a long time. So, yeah, there's a lot of disinformation. It's sort of like when we were coming up, we cut our teeth on being able to decipher through our psychic and intuitive, empathic energy. We cut our teeth on being able to pry open a lot of that disinfo that they were just beta testing with. Now that they saw that they could, literally utilize the New Age movement to ensnare and pull so many awakening people off the track, off the real track. It's like commercialized disinfo. It's like disinfo has gone mainstream now. It's crazy.
And I almost feel that this disinfo is part of the whole thing of what they want to do.
Oh yeah.
Like Hillary and her being sick and and all this, and now she looks well, and whether they're taking her from other timelines. But I do feel there are doubles there. They are using the body doubles. I really feel that's real.
Yeah. Well,
but I'm not saying that all of it's real.
Too. People. Did you see the one where she disappears? Even if the hologram?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that one.
That one's like ridiculous. I was like, oh my god. The average person.
To the wall, to the wall behind.
The average person is going to go, oh, something happened to their feed. But anybody that knows anything goes, oh, their holograph failed. Their hologram failed.
But why did they do that to begin with? Maybe because they wanted to hijack the alternative media because they knew if they gave them breadcrumbs, they'd run after it. Who knows what the reason is, but we know one thing, that George Bush Sr. did say he was going to vote for Hillary. So maybe Michelle Obama and George Bush that were not together. However, he said he was going to vote for her. So it's all connected. I mean, people can find out it's all connected without chasing the false stories to find this out. They can find it out through the true stories,
I know. It's crazy. That's what's so darn frustrating is that it's laid right out there for you, people. Just Google is your friend. Yeah. That's what I always say. Google is your friend. It's also spying on you, but that's a whole nother story. But I mean, seriously, use it. Use it to find out information and make sure that it's good information. Trust people that have been in the game for a while. See what they're turning you. Not everybody's going to turn you on to the kind of information that you resonate with. So check different people out until you find the right voicing, the right the right content. But there's many messengers out here, and we're all trying to share our history and our knowledge and our experience with others because that's what we're supposed to do. And so we're not here to fight with you. We're not here to, blow your mind into another reality. We're just here to help you through the minefield. So, put down the passive-aggressive bullshit and freaking just shut your mouth and take in information. Not you, Missy. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Buffy's here and it's
shut your mouth metaphorically, people. It's just like, just shut down and take in information. Be an observer. Let things wash over you. And Buffy, what are you going to share now?
She just came back.
She's just a cutie pie.
She wants to go out. Hi, Curry. Curry, do you want to be on film? Do you? No.
He's like...
Yes. She's like, huh? What? You thought of it?
I don't think we've had
How you doing? Okay, Buffy. Buffy, I think it's all about Buffy today.
Oh, Buffy.
It's all about Buffy. We want to share our uniqueness. Everybody has their unique piece to share. their
Absolutely.
unique self. There's only one of a kind of you in this timeline and this reality. So you are it to share your uniqueness, your gifts.
But I'm also reminded of a line from of two lines in a Queens of the Stone Age song that says, "Do you know who you really are? Are you sure
Yes.
it's really you?" You know, because a lot of people think they know who they are, and they really don't. They really have no clue. And you know, we can watch them and read them like a book, and their unconscious behavior is
That's right.
unfreaking believable.
That's absolutely right. So when I say sharing your gifts and there's only connecting with your uniqueness, you have to realize who you really are first. You got to clear that pain body, that emotional pain body, that the mental programming.
Absolutely. And your uniqueness isn't connected to your ego. Your uniqueness is your unique soul signature. It's who your oversoul is. It's the galactic spirit that has embodied this avatar personality, ego, Wendi, you know, in my case, Missy in your case, and you know, we're animating this, but that's not who he is. So don't identify with this. You know, if you're getting wrinkles, you're getting wrinkles. If you're, you know, whatever, you gotta love it. You gotta love all of it. But you gotta take care of yourself so that you aren't disintegrating faster than you need to. Missy is always talking about incredible ways to take care of yourself, and energetically speaking, that's how you're going to feel better physically through this process of transmutation that we are now in smack dab in the middle of.
Right, and now that we're coming into autumn, it's a good time to do, you know, kidney cleanse before winter.
Sure.
Liver too. I think any time around the cross time, you know, like we just had the solstice, when you go into a season change, is good for some kind of, you know, moderate cleanse. You don't have to go overboard. Just, you know, just reevaluate again, and whatever the astrology says is going to happen during these times. You know, the people that live where there's ice storms, that's when you can be without power and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not putting energy into this, but it's like I said, it's just good to be prepared all the time for whatever could happen. It doesn't mean it has to be, it's the collapse, it's the restructuring. I mean, I'm holding space that happens gradually with whatever's going to happen in a transition to this new thing. It's going to be better for all of us, for it to be a transition, peaceful, graceful transition, as opposed to, you know, what other people are talking about, which is all fear porn, where that's not the highest best.
No, and it's going to go whatever the collective decides, because what I get is it's constantly in flux. Some days I can feel the cataclysmic, you know, energy, and then other days and it's not like I'm thinking about it. This is just, you know, how the interdimensional feelings, you know, come in as timelines shift and alter with the collective consciousness. So a lot of times I just feel that very subtle integration. I feel like I hear my higher self say, "Isn't that funny? Everybody got so worried about all this stuff, and look how easily, you know, not that this is easy, because we're not going through easy times, but I don't feel like we have to, you know, as you said, reach change through cataclysmic, you know, it's all about events. I feel it's all about how much people are willing to let go of control.
Right. Where today it felt harmonious, being a 3-day, where yesterday I felt some of that in the field. Interesting, the 2 breaks down to 11. So we were at 9/11 again.
Yeah.
So that's what.
It's funny because I felt that yesterday too. And it feels much calmer today. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's interesting because it's a day by day thing, and I just think we're at such a critical mass that whatever direction the collective goes in is the direction that we're going to pop at. So
Right, and we're meant to observe. So if the collective makes a choice we don't agree with, well, we have to sit back and watch because we can't interfere with them learning the lesson. This is
absolutely
privately
not.
with people you know or in the collective. We can't interfere. We have to let it happen. Whatever it is, we got to let it happen. The
That's why.
pimple's going to pop. We got to let it happen.
Yeah. Yep. It is as gross as that is. No, that's exactly it. I will not participate in an illusionary bullshit, and politics
Right.
are a distraction, a controlled, regime of propaganda. It's not about anything other than controlled resistance to whatever they want, they're going to get, and they're going to push you in the direction that they want you to go in, that you will go along with what they want. And so I'm not going to participate in that. I'm not going to sit there and be forced to make a choice. And even Jill Stein is not green. That's what I was going to say. Jill Stein isn't green. She believes in vaccinations, and I don't even know why I'm entertaining the idea. It's just ridiculous. It doesn't exist. It's not. They're going to do whatever they want to do, and the best thing we can do is to stop playing their game, period.
That's exactly right.
Period.
It's like Jenga. Game Jenga. Remember Jenga? You
Yeah.
have to withdraw the... Yeah. Or in Gong, the deflection. You withdraw your energy and they fall. That's
Absolutely.
the way it goes.
It's not set up for us to ever win. So the only thing you
We
can
have
do
to
is acknowledge it doesn't exist,
Stop feeding it. We got to quit feeding it.
But look at how many people know that Santa Claus doesn't exist, and yet every year they put up a damn Christmas tree and put out all these presents, and it's all about Santa Claus. So that kind of tells you...
or Satan Claus.
You and I know
what are they?
You and I know it's
Krampus.
Satan's Claus.
Krampus. I don't participate in that.
Christ's Mass, the celebration of Christ's death, the death of the light. Yeah. So,
exactly.
I stopped participating in that. That was one of the things that just crushed my husband, that I just was like, why am I going to celebrate Christmas? It's bullshit. Because he was all about all the illusions, all the things a child, believes in, and I feel bad for him. He feels like I was such a mean person, but it's not even that. It's like I'm just an awake person, and I'm not gonna be a hypocrite any more than I have to be each and every day to stay alive inside this bullshit matrix.
Right. So we've got the first one that comes up, which is Halloween, Samhain, right? Which is which is the dark coming up, but they glorify the death. All this death energy, selling of coffins and the skeleton, which is the bones, the crystalline. I mean, I know it connects to the ancestors, but whatever they were trying to teach us through the pagan way has become completely distorted. So, and I don't necessarily think having your ancestors watch you is a good thing. At one point that might have served, but not anymore. I don't want my ancestors watching me because I don't want to be reincarnating back into this matrix again. So
no way.
Look deeper at all this. Look deeper at the cycles of the Day of the Dead and the honoring of all this. Why are we honoring, and who and what are we honoring? And then we have the next one, the Turkey Day. Why do they pardon turkeys that go to Disneyland, right? What did the turkey do wrong? Well, why did Abraham Lincoln decide to make this a holiday commemorating the end of the Civil War, and also, the taking the land away from the Indians?
We're celebrating taking
collective ritual sacrifice of eating turkey, which I don't participate in that either. So I think I've said this before. My favorite one's Groundhog Day of all of them. February 2nd, in bulk, Groundhog Day, because of the movie, and I think we talked about that last time with the Sonny and Cher, because it's the thing of being in that collective Groundhog Day, which humanity wakes up and looks at its shadow and comes out, and then it goes back to sleep, and then it comes out and looks. So it's had these things of coming out and looking, and a lot more shadow work needs to be done. So it's interesting, but yeah, we're gearing into the time of year which I don't like, because I don't like. And isn't it interesting? It's always in the end of the year. Like, here's the year starting, then it falls on itself. The end. It falls in on itself.
Yeah.
It's all manipulated, though. We know that time, and it's all manipulated. But this is where they got to push the thing. If you got to spend the money, the Black Friday, because it's in the black and it's got to be in the red. They got to make the money, or the green, or whatever. It's just ridiculous, the whole thing. But people are so mind controlled that they try to get out of that program, and they start participating again.
I know.
Here we go again.
It's lonely out here.
It's a merry-go-round. I want to get off. I want to get off this train that goes round and round and round.
Well, I just feel like I'm invisible. I mean, I don't feel invisible like I'm invisible literally. I just feel like I'm not a part of, reality. I feel like I'm on the outside looking in, which is good. But it's just so strange. It's just so strange to see people, I don't know, wasting their lives away and not recognizing and questioning what they're doing every friggin' day.
Yeah.
Just what the hell are you doing?
This time is valuable. This time is the time to wake up. That's what this time is for.
Yeah. God, Missy, I hope it happens. I hope that we're getting closer, because I don't want to say I'm losing hope. I'll never lose hope. I might get exhausted and need to regroup, but I just I've never seen it at this degree and level of awareness. As asleep as so many people are, there are so many people that are awake and are waking up, and that's the good part. I don't want to judge and focus on where they're at in their process, but I've never seen it like this. To have open conversations, to have lots of people talking about this stuff on YouTube, or it's brilliant, it's fabulous, it's exciting. I just want that momentum to continue, and for us to finally break on through to the other side. I mean,
break on through to the other side.
Break on through to the other side. Yeah, baby, I want it. I want it bad. I want it bad. I want to go out knowing that I got to see it happen. And I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving anytime soon, I don't think. But I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I agree. I agree. And I believe we will see it in our lifetime. I just don't know what it's gonna it's gonna take. I'm hoping for grace and ease, and not the 2x4s. I don't want 2x4s.
Oh God.
A lot of what we think are 2x4s, I think, is manipulation anyway.
Yeah. Well, again, there's a lot of
false flag events and things like that.
I was going to say there's a lot of effort being put into terrorizing us into submission, and so you have to look past that. Is the bully really that strong? Or is the bully just a bully, and that bully is only as powerful as you allow that bully to have control over you?
And they have money to get their message across, so they can spend money to make it look like something's happening and stage things that maybe aren't really happening. Some things might be, and this is the thing. It's a moment-by-moment process, and we have to each do our own individual research and be checking in with ourselves all the time.
Yep, absolutely. All right, sweetheart. Well, it sounds like we have a lot going on for the next few weeks. When are you back
And maybe
from the
check
cruise?
after the cruise.
Yeah. When are you back from the cruise?
I think it's the 23rd.
Okay. So we'll
And then I
get,
have a week, and then I go into getting my floor ripped up
oh
from the
yeah.
leak, and new subfloor and tile and all that stuff. So having my foundation tweaked probably in the beginning of November.
Okay.
I'm going to wait.
So
Take a
we'll,
little time to integrate the cruise and then get that done.
perfect. Well, we'll do another update then for November sometime. After you get back, and somewhere
Yeah,
around the
last week of
floor.
October.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, stay warm, stay beautiful, stay smiling and joyful, and I love you so much. And
You.
I'm feeling a lot better. So I appreciate, again, just hanging in there with me. And we're going to hopefully have some exciting things to talk about on our next update. Definitely the excitement of your cruise. So I'm looking forward to all of those details for sure. All right?
Right.
Yay. All right, sweetheart. Love you much.